How's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today I'm really excited because I'm going to be showing you guys my Tales from the Darkside DVD collection. Tales from the Darkside was a show created by George A. Romero and Richard P. Rubenstein, and it is classic anthology horror, so every single episode of the show will be its own unique scary story, and there's been some really fun scary stories over the years. If you guys have been keeping up with the channel, I recently went through and watched and reviewed every single episode of Darkside, so I'm really excited to show you guys the DVDs. There's some fun design here. Darkside ran for 4 seasons in the 1980s, and I have the individual season releases, and then of course in 1990 we would wrap things up with a cool epic movie, and I'll show you guys the movie as well. As I said, I really do love this show, and I am super excited to show you the physical media, so without further ado, let's go ahead and switch to the close-up camera. Alright, here we are inside the castle taking a closer look at my Tales from the Darkside DVD collection. Now, before we get into this, I'm obviously going to start with the individual seasons, but a lot of other people have a collected edition. I believe it's the same DVDs, but it's all 4 seasons in one place. I don't think they have the movie in there, and I think that is probably the cheaper way to buy it. I was just hunting these individually from my used media stores, and one thing I like about the individual editions is being 12 disc, they're a lot easier to handle. If you guys have seen those big cases loaded with disc, you know those things can sometimes be a nightmare, so I opted for this version, and I'm really happy with it, but a lot of people are just going to go for the collection. But that being said, let's bring Season 1 closer to the camera. There you get the nice classic Darkside logo against a bunch of trees. The trees would actually be the intro to the show, and we get a bunch of the show's creatures kind of poking their heads out. Overall, it's kind of a subtle design, but I do really like it. There's the spine, the first season with an eyeball here, and then we flip it to the back and we get to see a tarot card denoting the special features and a bit of a description that says there's 12 episodes in here. And of course, there's the series mascot, I believe fans call her Lizzie, created by Tom Savini there. Now, if we crack this open, we can see that the clear case is being used to show an episode index, and then in the middle we get our 3 discs. So 1, 2, and 3. Now, I will say for these episode listings, I wouldn't recommend reading them if you haven't seen the episodes before. Some of them have a weird tendency to be incredibly off, and others of them have spoilers. So yeah, I don't really know what's up with these write-ups. But anyway, the first episode we can see has that George A. Romero commentary. He's the show creator, but also wrote this episode, Trick or Treat, opening up with a Halloween episode. Inside the Closet's the Tom Savini one, and Word Processor of the Gods, that's Stephen King. For the other side, you have to take the disc out to see the under artwork, but we get cool ones like Levitation is an absolute classic. Overall, I have to say, I really do like Darkside, and I feel that Season 1 kinda has a bit of a unique feel. Season 1 was a little bit more low budget, and in turn comes across as a little more gritty, a little more real, and they kind of focus more on like actual human problems. Season 1 is Darkside at its grittiest. Then we move on to Season 2, and Season 2 had a little bit more of a budget, and you'll also notice there's a few more sci-fi episodes this time around. We get the Darkside opening trees reflected in this big eyeball, and I really do like it's still a very black, white, and red composition, but a unique image. And if we flip it to the side, we'll start to see this style's big problem, and that is they did not label Season 2 on the spine. I don't know why they did that, it's super frustrating, but whatever. Flip it to the back and we get to see that this also has 24 episodes just like the first season. Welcome back to the Darkside, on air with George Romero featurette, and a bunch of the pictures including the alien. Crack this open, and just like the first one, we get a flipper in the middle, so 1, 2, and 3. And in the episode list, we can see again a few more sci-fi ones. The Impressionist, Life Bomb, Effect and Cause. There are a lot of science fiction for some reason in season 2. But we also get things like Halloween Candy. And then Monster in My Room features a young Seth Green. And like with the last one, you're gonna have to move that disc to see the episode listings for the second half. But yeah, some cool episodes in there as well. The Last Car is definitely one of the best episodes of the whole series. The Last Car, I swear, has the most people talking about it and coming up with theories as to what it actually means. So yeah, fun stuff. Moving on to season 3, and the artwork for this one is actually from the very first episode, and we get to see this cool vampire character locked up behind bars. There's the spine, and flip it to the back and we get a nice little collage with the series monsters. You Can't Escape the Dark Side, and this one only has 22 episodes in it, and there's some pictures on the bottom there. And like with the last ones, there's the art in the clear case. And again, some fun episodes, like The Circus. Again, that's where we get the front of the box art from. And it's a circus that's locked up a bunch of the classic monsters and is putting them on display. The Giesen Stacks is a really fun doll episode where the little girl's dolls predict the future. And Seasons of Belief is an absolute classic Christmas episode. But disc 1... 2 and 3, and then take out 3 to get the descriptions for the rest. My Ghost Rider the Vampire, I believe, was actually based on an old DC horror comic, and we get a bunch of the pictures on the side as well. Pop that back in, and close up Season 3. Then we move on to Season 4, or as this is labeled, the final season, and we get to see the Darkside trees yet again, but this time they're inside a big giant mouth. I really do love the skull face. I think this has to be my favorite cover design of the individual seasons. Flip it to the side and the text is back, so we actually get a label saying the final season, and then the back, Enter the Dark Side if you dare. Now this one only has 20 episodes, so it's the shortest season. However, it's kind of 22 because there's 2 bonus episodes here at the bottom. And they don't say where these bonus episodes came from, just that they're made by the Darkside team. But these appear to be like pilot episodes, like they were trying to make another show after Darkside and they didn't get picked up. But they're interesting to kind of see them, and I'm glad they're preserved here. And then we of course get a bunch of monsters from the series. The comedic mummy character and the Cuddy Black Sow. Classic episode. Cracking it open, and of course, clear case for the episodes. The Moth has Blondie in it. The Grave Robbers, the Mummy one. The Yattering and Jack is a Clive Barker story. From the Books of Blood, great to see Barker here, also a Christmas episode. And then Sorry Right Number, written for Darkside by Stephen King. Of course, 1, 2, and 3. Remove 3, and we get the rest of the episodes, including the Cuddy Black Sow, a really good folklore Halloween episode. Family Reunion, a Tom Savini one. Hush is goofy fun, and then the 2 bonus episodes down there. Put that back and close it. And now that we've done all 4 seasons, let's take a look at that gripe about the spines. Look at that, only 1 and 4 are labeled, and then season 3 isn't even centered with the rest of them. Oh, that bugs me. Part of me wants to scan these, fix them in Photoshop, and then slide in a piece of paper to fix them, but I'm not quite there yet. But whatever, that's the 4 seasons of the regular show. We still have one more thing to take a look at, and that is Tales from the Dark Side, the movie. I really love the idea with this. Darkside was a really cool show, but admittedly did run into some budgetary issues. So why not, as a big finale piece, make a movie, give it more time and resources, and give it 3 stories that absolutely pop. we can see across the top that it has a bunch of stars in it. We have Deborah Harry, Blondie in here again. We also have like Kristen Slater, Julianne Moore, Steve Buscemi. Lots of cool people here. And in this one, Blondie's a witch, and she's going to cook and eat this kid like Hansel and Gretel, but he has a book of scary stories, which will of course be the segments of the show, and she's trying to distract the witch to kind of buy himself some more time. There's the spine with the gargoyle character. And flip it to the back and we get some pictures from each of the stories. Steve Buscemi is a nerdy college kid, and when Julianne Moore and her boyfriend cheat him out of a grant, he gets revenge by resurrecting this mummy, and that's called Lot 249, and it was based on a Sir Arthur Conan Doyle short story. Cat from Hell was based on a Stephen King short story, and the screenplay was actually adapted by George A. Romero, and this rich guy hires a hitman to try to go after this cat that just won't die, and it's super funny to see a hitman struggling against a cat. Funny episode. And then the last one, this guy sees a gargoyle murdering his friend, and the gargoyle says, "I'll spare your life if you never tell anyone about this." And there's the gargoyle over there as well. Really cool creature design. The thing is, his life starts going really good after, but he has this secret weighing over his head. Can he really enjoy life if he can't tell anyone about this big traumatic event? And I won't say how it ends, but boy, the gargoyle story has a big gut punch to it. I'll also say there's a different edition of this DVD that featured like a blue-green cover art. I went with this one. It fits the look of the others much better, and the red and black is just so much cooler. They would also do a Blu-ray of this, which I might upgrade sometime in the future. I really wish the show itself would get a Blu-ray. Some of the show can look a little grungy. But that being said, the show was made for TV in the 80s. I don't know what like masters or resources they have to pull from. Maybe DVD's as good as they can do for the show. But anyway, crack it open and we get the disc and it has the mummy on it. That's pretty fun. But yeah, it's an eco case, so this feels a lot flimsier than the other ones. Kinda thinking about upgrading this to a clear case so it matches them. We'll see. Maybe. But anyway, that's all the Darkside stuff. 4 classic seasons and a movie? I really did like watching all of this. If you guys haven't checked out Darkside, definitely recommend it. It's anthology horror, so you don't really know what you're gonna get, and sometimes, especially in the last season, it could kind of coast a little bit. Like, sometimes you'll get lame humor episodes, and sometimes you'll get, like, incredibly tropey, predictable stuff. But in general, Darkside is really cool, and there's some absolute classic stuff in here. Again, seeing things from Stephen King, George A. Romero, Clive Barker, and Tom Savini. The show in general is really cool, but every now and then you stumble across an absolute gem, and I really do like it. If you guys have seen the show, feel free to tell me what your favorite episodes are, and tell me, did you go for the individual seasons, or did you buy that pack with all of them in it? I think a lot of people just have the pack, but I'm curious to know. Anyway though, to everyone who's watched so far, thank you for watching. To everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. You really are helping the channel out. I'll leave a playlist on the bottom. This should be my Tales from the Darkside playlist. If you want to see me review every single episode of the show, including the movies, and do individual season reviews, feel free to click right there and see more. Anyway, have a good day. I'll see you guys again very soon. Playlist here. Have a good day now.